What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing some armor pieces for every class that have a chance to really shine in ARC 3.0. We have a lot to go through, so I don't want to waste any more time. We'll start with the Hunter and go in alphabetical order. That means that first up, we have the exotic helmet, Assassin's Cowl. This helmet allows you to go invisible on a powered melee kill or a finisher. Right now, it pairs incredibly well on Top Tree Arc Strider, and I actually made a video showing off how good this build can be. It is a monster in Gambit, and I actually used this strategy way back in Shadowkeep to solo flawless the Pit of Heresy for the first time. It was great in the Totems encounter because you could constantly be invisible and one-shot everything with a melee and a 1-2 punch shotgun. Now, we don't know if it will have the same synergy in ARC 3.0 because it requires combination blow on Top Tree to really get the full benefit out of it, but regardless, the helmet is very good in the right builds, so you should probably just go get one if you don't have it. I believe to get it that you have to beat the Shadowkeep campaign on your Hunter. Next, we have the Blight Ranger helmet. This allows you to deal huge damage when blocking with Middle Tree Arc Staff. It's a very niche exotic, and people found a way to make it absolutely busted, so it got disabled for a while. This is only good in very select situations, but maybe in ARC 3.0 we will have a way to guard without having our super up. Who knows? Regardless, this exotic does have some good potential, so consider getting one in your vault. Next is the exotic arms Liar's Handshake. This allows your arc melee to deal big damage on every other hit or after you have been meleeed. Just like Assassin's Cowl, it is best paired with Top Tree Arc Strider and Combination Blow. Again, we aren't sure what ARC 3.0 will look like, but this exotic could be very strong in the right melee-centric build. Pair it with a 1-2 punch shotgun and you are set to deal some silly high damage. Next, we have a very underused exotic in the Lucky Raspberry. This allows you a chance to get your Arc Bolt grenade back, and if you tag 4 enemies total, you will always get it back. This could be good in a grenade build or a very enemy dense encounter. Plus, who knows, maybe we'll get arc webs like the Stormcaller has, and Arc Bolt grenades will be even better than they already are. Next, we have the RAIDEN FLUX, which makes your Arc Staff super last longer. We don't know what the future Arc Staff in ARC 3.0 will look like. Maybe it will get a big buff and this exotic will make it one of the best supers in the game. Sort of like how CUIRASS of the Falling Star makes Thunder Crash a monster. Or similar to how Orpheus Rigs got a resurgence with the changes to the multi-shot tether super. If so, then this could definitely be worth running. Time will tell. Man, we have a lot of exotic armor pieces tied to just the Arc Staff super. Holy crap. Blight Ranger, RAIDEN FLUX, and now this. I'm talking about the exotic chest piece RAIJU'S Harness. This allows you to guard longer on Middle Tree Arc Staff and deactivate your super early if you want to. Who knows if this will get any use outside of PvP? It could be useful for popping to block and grab a res and then deactivating in a Nightfall or something, I guess. Regardless, it is centered solely around the Arc Strider super, so it makes it into this video. And then we have the last Hunter exotic, SHINOBU'S Vow. This exotic improves skip grenades and gives you a second skip grenade charge. It returns grenade energy when you damage enemies. Now, what is interesting is Bungie actually nerfed the tracking of these and cut their damage in half. This was in some patch notes at the end of April. I could not find out if this was only for PvP, which I imagine it would be, but if it was nerfed in PvE too, then that is rough. Skip grenades are quite annoying in PvP, and if a player knows what they are doing, they can be a huge headache. This nerf seemed out of nowhere, so I'm guessing they are getting some type of rework with ARC 3.0 where they will be super effective or have a low cooldown or something. Or maybe it is just because they will be available to every class, so having a whole team spamming skip grenades would be too oppressive. Who knows? As always, time will tell. As far as PvE goes, I tried these out when getting footage for this video, and skip grenades are pretty horrible in PvE, especially since we will have access to all the grenades on Hunter and every other class for that matter. Still, you may want to pair these just in case. Alright, that is it for the exotic armor pieces on Hunters. Let's move on to the Titans. The Titans honestly don't have a lot of exotics that are arc focused, but we'll start with the best one and the most used one, and that is CUIRASS of the Falling Star. If you didn't know, this exotic buffs the damage of your Thunder Crash super. It already gets a ton of play, and it will definitely continue to after ARC 3.0 I'm sure. You definitely want to get this one. Next is Universal Exotic, the leg pieces, the DUNEMARCHERS. These chain arc lightning on a melee hit and improve your sprint speed. Maybe they will have some type of chaining synergy in ARC 3.0. They are extremely strong already and very popular in PvP, and they are also actually low-key very good for ad clear in PvE, so you definitely want to pair these. From there, we have the ugliest helmet in the game in Eternal Warrior. This gives you an overshield with Fists of Havoc. I have no idea if this will have a place or not, but it is tied to the Arc Super, so it makes the list. Next we have a universal exotic in the Heart of INMOST Light. I absolutely love this exotic with Void 3.0, and I have no reason to think it won't be really strong with Arc 3.0 as well. It can make lightning grenades one-shot in PvP, and it will buff all of your abilities and their cooldowns in PvE. It's a great all-around exotic that you definitely want to try to get a good roll of, specifically with high resilience, discipline, and strength. And lastly, we have an old favorite of mine in INSURMOUNTABLE SKULLFORT. I have such a soft spot for this exotic. I used to love running around one-shotting people in Crucible back when I was on PS4. I would rack up some surprisingly high kill games just playing like a kamikaze. I also had an amazing Gambit and Gambit Prime build with this on Middle Tree. I would get tons of supers and decimate the primeval envoys in seconds with a ballistic slam and a swashbuckler shotgun. This won't be great in high-end PvE as it requires you to be in the fray too much, but it is a ton of fun and very strong in mid and low tier content. And that will do it for the Titan list. Overall, I don't think much will change for Titans, and CUIRASS of the Falling Star will still be meta in Arc 3.0, but I could be wrong. And lastly, we have the Warlocks. Again, there are not many exotics here, but the ones we have are quite strong. Let's start with the one I will be maining for Arc 3.0, and that is Crown of Tempests. First off, this helmet just looks amazing, and it also has a bunch of super cool ornaments, so bonus points for that. But secondly, if you like spamming abilities, which personally I love, then this is the exotic for you. It states arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extend the duration of Storm Trance. Arc 3.0 will most likely give all classes Ionic Traces. I suspect this because Coldheart has the ability to make Ionic Traces, or it will after the new season starts. Well, back a few months ago when I was making my mod video, a video that is super detailed and helpful by the way, so check it out if you haven't. Anyways, when I was making that video, I used Crown of Tempests on Middle Tree Stormcaller. Between the energy from the exotic and the Ionic Traces, I was getting abilities back extremely quickly. So if there is a fragment for making Ionic Traces, then this thing will go super hard. I cannot wait to test out ability spam builds with this exotic and Arc 3.0. You definitely want to lock this one down. The next exotic used to be very meta in Trials and in PvE, but its nerf to super recharge rate really hurt it. That is the Geomag Stabilizers. That being said, they are still really good for the Chaos Reach super, and that super is the coolest super in the game in my opinion, so they get bonus points for making it last longer. Even though Chaos Reach isn't the menace that it once was, it can still wreck, so you definitely want to grab a good pair of these boots. Next is another exotic tied to a super, and that is the Stormdancer'S Brace. I've always had a soft spot for this exotic, as I love things that increase your super damage. This not only increases the damage as you get kills, but it also gives you huge super energy back. 50% if you get 8 red bar kills or more. I used this exotic on day 1 of Vow of the Disciple raid for the 3rd encounter, and it did great. I love the idea of this exotic, and I hope that it shines brighter in Arc 3.0. And lastly, we have a general use exotic in VERITY'S Brow. This gives you and your allies grenade energy as you stack death throws by getting kills with a weapon that matches your subclass energy type. And it also makes your grenades deal increased damage. So say in Arc 3.0 you are using Thunderlord to mow down adds. You'll be giving you and your allies tons of grenade energy, and your grenades will hit harder. It is a great exotic. It is super good on Void 3.0 because Vortex grenades are crazy strong and can weaken enemies, but I think it could also be very strong with Arc 3.0. And just like that, we are done with the video. Those are all of the Arc-based exotic armor pieces for all the classes. There's some very strong exotics in there, and some are not so strong. I'm very excited to get my hands on Arc 3.0 and make some new fun builds. Let me know down in the comments below which exotics you are most excited to try for Arc 3.0. And if you found this video helpful, then consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss more helpful content in the future. And if you made it this far, then I thank you so much for watching. Take care.